My guest today is Dan Spicer, who heads up the EMEA community team at Hootsuite.
So I'm from Hootsuite, as we know. I've been with Hootsuite for about 1.5 years now. I head up the community team for EMEA, as you put it, EMEA, which effectively means Europe, Middle East and Africa. And effectively Hootsuite are now the world's most widely used social relationship platform. Whatever you want to achieve, whatever your business goals are, there is a social plan, there are social tactics you can put in place to utilize social media to drive towards those business goals. Automation is there to take some of the heavy lifting away from you, so you can actually spend your time on what is valuable, and that's the engagement piece. And really what the automation allows you to do is create that baseline of content. Yeah. So you have that baseline, or if it is time sensitive, so you have a show going out at 12 p.m. today, you can schedule your tweets in the lead up. But what social media has, and the power of it is that one-to-many conversation that you can have, and therefore the content being in the public sphere. So what that allows you to do effectively is monitor not only for your own branded mentions, not only for mentions your business or direct mentions, but to monitor the entire landscape for conversations that are going on. The problem is a lot of times when businesses do jump on social media and start pulling in their social profiles into a platform like Hootsuite, they'll normally just pull in mentions, direct mentions, and anything branded related. But it's much more broadly powerful in the sense that you can open that up more specifically. Every single social network has its own nuance, and when we talk about social strategy development, my first tip always is to really respect the platform and what it's there for. Every single network out there has specific nuances. So Facebook is very good for community building an audience, actually has a very powerful paid media platform. Twitter, on the other hand, doesn't have an algorithm, so it effectively shows you everything. So if you follow 3,000 people, you will see 3,000 people's worth of tweets. If you're using Twitter, and it goes back to understanding why you use the platform, if you're using Twitter as a marketing tool, if you're using it to push content, which is not the only reason to use it, but if you are using it to promote content, then you need to be on there regularly, and you need to be posting more than once a day or twice or once every other day on Twitter. Hi everyone, I'm Dan Spicer. Hopefully you tuned in. If not, you've caught me right at the end, but I'm Dan Spicer. I head up the EMEA community team at Hootsuite. Hootsuite are effectively the world's most widely used social relationship dashboard, which allows you to integrate all of your social networks into one web and mobile dashboard. What it does is allow you to save time. It allows you to automate some processes, such as content publishing, to allow you to then spend time in the most valuable place, which is having a conversation with your customers, your prospects, your partners, and your potential fans. If I was going to give you 3 takeaways from a social strategy, social media perspective, I would say number 1, respect the platform. Really do your research to understand the benefits of each individual platform. Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, Pinterest are the big ones, and ones that are on everyone's tongues, but there are other platforms out there. I think the latest stat was there's over 450 platforms you can now use. So really understand the nuances of each of the platforms, do the research, and work with the ones that will best allow you to meet and support your business goals. Number 2, I would think about your brand voice from a content marketing perspective, and really understand who you want to be and what persona, what your voice needs to be. Whenever you're creating content, we normally bucket them into 3 things. If your content can entertain, inspire, or educate, you'll be on a good path to engaging your fans and followers. And then finally, think about the 80-20 rule, the 80% engagement, 20% publishing rule. There's been lots of debate around whether those percentages are correct, but it gives you a steer in terms of thinking about how to use social media. 20% of your time should be looking at publishing content and pushing content. The other 80% engaging with the customers that you have, the fans that you have on social media. And don't be afraid to show a little bit of leg. Show your personality. We always say, we always like to call it the social media mullet. 80% engagement and party at the back, 20% business at the front. So make sure actually you are not being afraid to use social media, not being afraid to show your personality, and have those conversations. Engage with people, because that's what people want to use social media for.